Please listen to this message as our menu options have changed. Thank you for calling. Zanesville Police and Fire Dispatch for Hamburg.
Yeah, I'm calling about the Stave Company over here off Sharon Avenue and their production noise trespassing my property with loud crashing noises and their constant drone of their machinery and equipment over here. It's in violation. It's trespassing my property. It's actually louder than the freeway, believe it or not. This is why I didn't buy my property right next to the freeway, because I didn't want to listen to a bunch of ridiculous noise. But because public servants here in Zanesville can't do their job or don't know how to do their job, they allow this destruction of the community and the peace and sanctity of the community to be utterly obliterated by this production noise. That's in violation. Now, unless you can tell me what law authorizes this destruction of the community and the constant nuisance, and for you people not to do your jobs accordingly, according to the law, maybe if you can tell me what that is, then maybe I'll stop complaining to you people. But as far as I see it, the law requires you people to do a job that you are failing to do.
Okay.
You're okay with that failure?
I'm just listening.
Well, you said okay, so usually that means like consent, like you're okay with it?
No, I'm doing my job.
Oh. Well, I'm just trying to understand what you're saying, because I don't understand why you're okay with this kind of behavior.
I'm just listening to what you're saying.
Okay. Well, you responded, so I'm trying to understand what you meant by your response.
I just told you twice.
No, you told me you were listening. You didn't say anything about your response, where you said okay.
I said okay, as in I was acknowledging what you were saying.
Oh, okay. So you're just acknowledging you're not okay with the fact that public servants here in Zanesville are committing treason and violating the Constitution and ignoring people's rights? Just to clarify. Well, silence is consent too, and acquiescence by silence is tacit admission and acceptance. So, I mean, you can say what you want, but actions speak louder than words. So whenever you guys want to get off your asses and do your jobs, the Stave Company over here
taking the call and passing it on. Oh. What happens to it after that is not an issue with me doing my job.
Yeah, that's what secretaries say. I passed the memo on to so-and-so. I did my part.
Okay, I don't take memos. I take calls, and I type the calls into our system, and it gets passed either to my supervisor or the officers.
Well, potato, however you want to explain it. It's the same thing.
How they handle it is up to them.
Yeah. Well, no, it's actually up to the law, not up to them. They don't have the authority to suspend the Constitution or the law. Maybe you people forgot that. Maybe you should put that in your note.
What?
That they don't have the authority to just ignore the law. When people call and have complaints, especially when there's crimes being committed, and that's the best you people can do is write a note and pass it on, and well, we don't have any control over what happens here. I mean.
Okay, what exactly do you want me to do with it?
Well,
hold on just a second, sir.
Oh yeah, sure. Everything's more important. Show me how incompetent you people are.
Okay, sorry about your hold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so whenever you all want to get around to following the law and not playing these ridiculous schoolyard games and acting like bullies and stuff, that's basically all you people can do. I mean,
if anybody here is being a bully, it's you, because you
really?
Call in and you call us names and you call us incompetent, and we are doing our job.
Really?
As far as you calling dispatch, we take the information that we're given and we pass it on. So, I mean, I don't know what calling us and calling us names and degrading us is going to do for you.
It's not degrading you. I'm identifying the facts. If you people can't do
So
a
if
simple
someone were
job
to
and
call you
complete a
all the
task.
time and call you stupid and say that
Oh,
you don't have a brain and
so you think this is a social
listen, I
call?
listen to you.
So you think this is a social call? You think I'm just calling to insult you guys? Is that what you think?
Well, I mean, it kind of goes along with your complaint every time.
Well,
You don't talk kind to us. You don't
right.
tell us clearly what the problem is. You call
Really?
in, you complain, and call us
Really?
names
I
and
don't tell you
everything else.
clearly. Here, let me tell you very clearly. Listen up. Did you want to use some Q-tips before I tell you this so you can make sure and hear it properly? So listen. Noise is trespassing my property. This is very
How
specific.
does noise trespass?
Oh, so now I've got to become a teacher and I've got to sit here and give you a lesson?
I'm asking because I want clarification, just like I asked you to tell me clearly.
Why don't you talk to your superiors? Why don't you look up the
No, I'm
definition of
asking you.
trespassing? Oh, so you're going to take
I'm
my word
asking
for
you.
it?
No, I want your view on it. I want to know where you're getting this idea from.
Oh, well, probably the law, definitions
so what is
of
it?
the word trespass.
Okay, so let's hear it.
Really? Why don't you look it up? I'm not going to sit
No,
here
I'm
and give you
asking
definitions
This
of
is your
words.
complaint
And
every time, so I want to know where you're getting your ideas from.
no, what you're doing is you're being difficult and you're being a bitch. If you wanted to know the truth, then you would look it up yourself in your own spare time, and you wouldn't be difficult like this and acting like a little child.
Okay, Brandon, I'm not being difficult, and I'm not being a child. I asked a simple question for clarification that you said that you would give me, and you're not doing it. So if anybody
I have
here's
hundreds
being
of times
difficult,
before.
it's you.
Oh, really?
And I don't have time to stay on the
Isn't
phone
that
and argue
convenient?
with you
Isn't
like
that
a
convenient?
child.
An incompetent fucking bitch turning it around and making it sound like I'm the problem. Why don't you fucking have a little retrospect? You know, like look yourself in the mirror. You people are just fucking amazing how incompetent you are, and then you want to turn it around and make it sound like I'm the problem. It's clearly your
I'm
guys'
not incompetent. I do my job very well, thank you.
Oh, you take notes and you pass on notes very well. That's great. Well, if you do such a good job at it, then why is it nothing's been done about this problem?
Because that's not my job. I can't take care of the noise. I take the complaint.
Well, maybe
and
maybe
I
your
pass
notes
it on.
aren't complete enough. Maybe you're not putting enough information in your notes that you're passing
Okay, I'm
on.
pretty sure they're complete because every time you call, I put in there everything you say.
Really? Well,
Yes.
I'll have to go back and pull the records, and I'll have to compare those to the recordings and see. Because I'm sure there's probably a lot of discrepancies. Because I doubt you're that thorough.
Okay.
But to get back to the point, the noise is trespassing my property. And just to clarify,
And I asked you for the definition of trespassing.
and to clarify, any action by another that prevents me from enjoying my property is trespassing. Whether it's a physical coming onto my property, or noise, or objects being thrown, or it's trespassing. Trespass covers a lot of different
When my
things.
neighbor mows her grass, I can get mad and call the cops on her because I don't like the way her lawnmower sounds.
If they're doing it at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, yeah, because that's a disturbance of the peace. What part of that don't
So
you
it
understand?
doesn't matter. Maybe that's my sleep schedule,
That's your own.
and I got woke up.
So what you're telling me is your decision to work night shifts.
I don't work night shift.
What are you doing right now?
I'm working overtime. This isn't by choice.
Oh, so somebody put a gun to your head and forced you to work for the police department?
No, that's not what I said at all.
Oh, well, you just said you were forced. You didn't have a choice.
No, you said because I choose to work night shift. I chose to work day shift, and I'm working overtime because
Okay,
they
well,
needed
whatever.
the
That's semantics.
shift
You're
covered.
working night shift right now, right? I mean, you do understand that, correct? It is nighttime right now. It's approximately 2:52 a.m. You do understand that, correct? You do realize what time it is?
I understand that. I'm looking at the clock.
Do you know who the president is currently of the United States?
Oh, no, I'm too dumb, right?
Oh, okay. Well, you said it. I just asked you a simple question.
Well, you just called me a dumb bee earlier. It was very inappropriate and very rude.
Really? I beg to differ.
Okay.
So, back to the clarification. The
Okay, go ahead.
noise is trespassing my property. Did you get that? Were you able to
I
write?
did.
You want me to spell trespass for you?
Go ahead.
No, you can look it up in a dictionary if you don't know how to spell.
Why? Because you can't?
Oh, TRESPASS.
Okay.
Would you like me to spell some other words, or do you want to actually do your job?
I mean, apparently you said I was incompetent, so I can't. So.
Well, you didn't know
Go
how to
ahead and do
spell
it for me.
trespass.
I do know how to spell trespass. Thank you. I already
You just
had
had
it
to
in the
have me
call.
spell it for you. See how ridiculous you people are? So anyways, so the noise is
Yeah,
trespassing
you're
my
being very
property.
petty, and you just called and told me this several hours ago, and I told you that I would pass it on.
Yeah, well, the noise is still going on. It's not like it only happened a couple hours ago, or it's constant. When I call in, it's happening as I speak, and I don't know what part about that you don't understand, but I guess Anyway, so the noise is trespassing my property. That is a crime. And according to Ohio Revised Code 3767, because of this constant crime of this trespass, which I've filed multiple complaints about, which obviously you all are aware of, according to Ohio Revised Code 3767, it authorizes the public servants of the city here to do their duty and file an injunction in the court. Now, I don't know who's been designated to do that. It doesn't sound like really anybody has, because it sounds like these notes that you all take get probably filed in a trash can, and everybody just thinks it's funny because you all don't have any accountability. But yeah, so the noise trespassing my property, constant nuisance, it's a constant violation. It's a constant crime that these operators of these businesses are in violation of and are committing, and which you all are failing to identify and investigate. And so it creates a problem here in the community when you all fail to do your jobs according to the law and protect the community or provide safety to the community. See, by your guys' negligence and not addressing the situation appropriately, you are condoning the harm. Therefore, you're allowing it to happen. Therefore, you guys are actually using noise as a weapon. That's what this is. Now, I can get more specific if you'd like, or is that specific enough for you?
I'm just listening.
Okay. Do you have any confusions about what I said? Do you like me to clarify anything?
I mean, if you feel that you need to clarify, go ahead.
No, I'm asking you. Do you understand what I'm saying, or do you have any confusion?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. So, yeah, according to Ohio Revised Code 3767, you public servants, whomever is designated or is supposed to do their job or whatever, is supposed to file an injunction with the court in lieu of my complaints about these crimes, this constant nuisance problem. And it tells you people how to do your job in that code, Ohio Revised Code 3767, and that there's supposed to be an injunction filed in the courts against these operators of these businesses, and to get them to either cease and desist their production at night within certain hours, or mitigate their production noise entirely so that their production noise is not destroying the community. Now, I think it's safe to say, and I have a good reason to believe that no one else bothers to call and complain about this stuff because this is how you treat people. I've been complaining about this for almost 3 years now, and I still have yet for you people to even perform an investigation appropriately. Now, the name calling that you were referring to earlier, it's not just so I feel better about myself. It's identifying the failures. If I ask someone to do it, if I ask someone to do a task and they are unable to do it, a simple task, Let's say take the trash out. If they can't figure out how to take the trash bag out of the can, tie it up, and go take it out to the trash receptacle and put it in there and close the lid on it, they are incompetent. I'm not insulting them. I am identifying the fact that they are incompetent and that they can't perform a simple task.
Okay, but I'm doing my job. I don't understand how you don't understand that.
Well, because I don't know if it was you or someone else I was speaking to about the analogy of an engine. When an engine fails and doesn't start, even if it cranks, you go to start it up and it'll crank, but it won't turn over and actually run.
You don't know which part is broken.
Right. So we don't, until we figure out what part is broken, we say the engine has failed. We don't look at an engine that's failed and say.
So instead of calling in and beating it like a dead horse over and over again with us, why don't you try to contact someone else who can take care of the issue?
Oh, and who might that be?
Anyone besides dispatch.
Oh, anyone besides the people I'm supposed to call, right? See, when there's a crime committed, I'm supposed to call the police department to notify the police department the crime's being committed, right?
Okay, and if you're not satisfied with the answer you're getting, you usually take it somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, that's what people who are unwilling to do their job say.
Or no, that's not the case.
Well, see, I've talked to your supervisors, just for clarification. I've talked to your supervisors.
Did they
I've talked
tell
to.
You that I couldn't do my job?
They didn't bother commenting.
So then they must not have a problem with the way I do my job.
Well, probably not, because they don't care. I mean, obviously they are completely incompetent. And whether you can take a note like a secretary and pass it on to them or not is irrelevant. The problem is that the laws are being ignored. So whether it's you or your supervisors or patrolmen or Joe Blow, I don't care. The problem is it's not getting fixed. So we can sit here and have these creative discussions all we want. But until you people realize that the reason why I'm calling is because there's crimes being committed, and I'm filing complaints about these crimes being committed against my property. But I guess you people think that this is just a social call, that I just want to call and have fun and belittle you people. I have better things to do. I'd rather be relaxing and resting right now, but I can't because you people can't do a simple job.
Okay.
So is that enough clarification for you, or would you like me to clarify it some more?
If you feel it's necessary, go for it.
Well, I mean, obviously you guys don't know what I'm talking about. After 3 years of complaining, I've articulated it pretty clear. I'm getting very, very specific. I'm getting more and more specific, in fact, and telling you guys how to do your jobs, which I shouldn't have to. You guys should have the ability to think for yourselves and be grown up enough to figure out what your duties and obligations are, whether it's you women in dispatch or the men back that are patrolling the streets or the supervisors or whoever. Doesn't matter. You all should be grown up enough to be able to figure out what your job is according to the law, not whatever you think it is. And if you view me calling you guys as a problem, then obviously you need some counseling.
Okay.
So, let me reiterate one more time. The noise trespassing my property is a constant crime. It's no different than someone actually physically stepping onto my property and trespassing. It's unwanted. It's nuisance. This constant trespass, this constant crime, authorizes the public servants of Zanesville to perform certain actions. Now, none of you public servants have been able to tell me who is actually designated to perform these actions. So that tells me that none of you all have bothered to do your job according to the law. You just make excuses or say that you passed on a note, but nothing ever actually gets accomplished. So it's quite frankly irrelevant whether you do your job as a secretary or a dispatcher or whatever you want to call yourself and pass on the note, or the supervisor or whomever the note gets passed on to doesn't do their due diligence and perform their duties and obligations according to the law and their oaths of office. And let me ask you this real quick. Did you by chance, when you became a dispatcher and worked for the police department, did you have to swear an oath to uphold the Constitution? Hello? No. Well, silence is consent, so I'll take that as a no, that you didn't.
No, silence is not consent.
Oh, it's not? Where did you hear that?
You're goofy.
Silence isn't consent. It is in a court of law.
No, I'm busy doing other things while you're rambling on.
No, I'm reporting crimes. You're too busy distracting yourself from
No,
performing
you're
your
busy
duties.
repeating what you've already told me, and I've recorded it in the call.
Yeah, I've recorded it too, and I'll say it 1,000 more times because apparently you guys can't get it through your thick skulls. That there's a law that you're supposed to follow.
Okay, you're not going to insult me anymore.
Oh, really? No, I will. I will as much as I want.
Okay, then I won't talk to you anymore. That's as simple
Oh,
as that.
well, I'm just so brokenhearted. I mean, it's such an enjoyment
Aw.
talking to you.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I couldn't imagine your significant other gets probably miserable, or woman, whoever knows these days.
Do
Anyways,
you have one?
what difference does that make?
Well, you asked about mine. I'm curious about yours.
No, I didn't ask about you. I just made a comment. I don't really care
Oh, okay.
what your personal life is like.
Good, because I didn't really care either.
Really, you asked, so obviously you do.
I was also being a smartass.
Oh, really? So instead of doing your job, you're being a smartass on the phone to me?
And I told you I'm busy doing other things as well. I'm multitasking.
Oh, being a smartass.
Okay, I don't need to talk to you. I have other things to do, Brandon.
Okay. Well, I'll just go ahead and forward this to the state and let them hear what you public servants are acting like here. So.
Okay, as I told you, I've already recorded everything you said in the
That's
call.
nice.
And I will be passing it forward.
Good job,
So
Secretary.
that's not me not doing my job. That's me doing my job, and there's nothing else I can do for you, okay?
That's a good secretary. Keep it up.